Hey, this is Spaceman Spiff, and welcome to episode 15, I believe, of Spaceman Climbs. And today I have an Undead versus Undead for you. As you can see, I knew I was against an Undead, so it's not random. I'm going into it expecting a couple things automatically. I'll get into that in just a second. But first I want to say, I did search Battle of Troy after the game, and he was ranked 39th in Azeroth, or US East. Or sorry, North America East, I guess. I'm a Canadian. So he was a highly ranked player. I think I'm ranked around 100 to 150th. I'm somewhere in that range. So this was a relatively high ranked game for the Azeroth ladder. So keep that in mind as we watch it. And now I guess I'll start talking about what I'm thinking. So he's undead. This is Lost Temple. He's against random. So he's probably not going to be doing anything really aggressive. He's probably going to be scouting quickly. But I can expect to probably see a Death Knight and Fiends first, and he'll go for some of the standard creeping patterns where he'll take his expansion or go for the middle of the map and creep out those things. Or he could go for some kind of sneaky undead fast expansion, which I think you see quite a bit of on Lost Temple because it's a map that's just so conducive to playing the fast expansion, right? You can just, it's such a short walk distance, it's such an easy creep to kill that especially on BattleNet ladder where people aren't playing super seriously, a lot of people like to try that. So I'm thinking that's definitely a possibility. And so there are two things I can do, right? I can either creep with him or try and harass him, or sorry, creep with him and do the Death Knight and Fiends or whatever I want to do and creep. I can harass him and try and delay any fast expansion he's trying to do, or I can fast expand myself. And so I decided I'd take the initiative there and fast expand myself, and that way, in the event that he does fast expand, we're on even par. If he decides to try and harass me, it's a big map. I think I'm probably safe enough that I'll be able to get away with it unless he's spawned right here. I'm hoping he's not here and decides to harass. But it's not like he's going to be coming at me with Lich and Ghouls, right? That's, although relatively common in Undead mirrors, you definitely don't see it when you're against a random because no one goes Lich unless they're against an Undead, or no one goes Lich first. At least typically speaking. But you'll see I picked a Crypt Lord. So normally when I fast expand, I like to go Dreadlord, but I feel like when I play random, 75% of my games I draw Undead. So I was a little tired of going Dreadlord. I feel like I've been playing a lot of them lately, and I wanted to just, try something different. So I'm going Crypt Lord first, and I'm not going to go for Beetles first. I'm thinking I want to try Undead Area of Effect. I'm going to do an AoE strategy with my heroes, and I want to see how I can make it work. So, this is definitely leaving me very vulnerable. I haven't scouted yet, so I don't know where he is, but I don't think he's scouted me, and if he has, it doesn't look like he'll be aggressive. I am hoping I'll have enough time to secure my expo, because if I get Beetles, it's easier to defend the expo, but it's not that much stronger, I don't think. Either way, it's going to be vulnerable. Like the Crypt Lord first is a questionable hero or a weak hero at level 1 regardless of the situation. So I went Impale, even more vulnerable than normal, but I'm hoping I'll be able to get away with it. I had poor timing with my base. You'll see my Tomb of Relics was late, but it's okay because I buy my Rod of Necromancy anyway, and for the most part, I'm a couple seconds behind, but I'm going to be creeping this around nightfall, right? So I'm going to expand. And then from there, I'll have a couple options. I definitely want to tech, and I'll be scouting. I want to figure out what I'm against so that I can, taper my build accordingly. But first, let's just creep this. Easy creep. Initiate with my Crypt Lord because I'm not afraid of an Undead nuke coming my way. I'm still, at this point, definitely expecting to see a Death Knight, so, the coil is not a threat. I don't think I'm going to be in danger of losing my hero anytime soon. I might lose some ghouls if we engage in a Death Knight and Fiend fight, though, so I don't want my ghouls absorbing any damage here. So it's crept easily. I set up my Necropolis, and I'm sure I'll be teching in the near future. I still have a couple ghouls on wood, so I'm not worried about that. And now I'm going to scout. So these two skeletons are going to go scouting. And I believe I'm going to go down and creep just this green camp down here. There are lots of different options at this point. I could try and go aggressive. I could try and creep one of the bigger green camps here. I could do something sneaky and creep out another easy expansion. But I wanted this one because I'm so vulnerable with my expansion going up that I didn't want to leave it, you know, I wanted to stay as close as possible while still being proactive. So I'm still creeping something, but with my skeletons, I was able to see he's not running this path right now. He's not running this path right now. I can creep this, I can creep this, I should be safe. It's just because I don't want this attacked, so I have to really stay in as close proximity and keep as close an eye on it as I can. So I see there's no expansion here and there's no base here, so I'm against an undead cross spawn, which is great for the fast expansion. And look what I scout. I see a Crypt Lord who has Gloves of Haste and a Rod of Necromancy. I have Gloves of Haste and a Circlet, and he picks up a Circlet. So we are exactly identical heroes, except that he's gone Beetles where I've gone Impale. So I've got ghouls with me now, so I probably could have gone to Creepjack him. But seeing that he had a Crypt Lord told me he's probably fast expanded, right? What we're seeing right now is the ghouls that he crept his fast expansion with are back on wood, and he's probably starting to tech or do something like that. But he's fast expanded, and I know that because I saw the Crypt Lord. I have not showed my Crypt Lord yet. I decided not to Creepjack him. So he doesn't necessarily know he's against a fast expansion, right? I have a little bit of extra information on him. So although I didn't gain any extra experience or gold advantage by creepjacking him there, I did hold on to a little bit of knowledge longer than, or I have knowledge right now that he doesn't have. Maybe that's worth something. So I hit level 3. I see that he has expanded, so I'm going to go check it out. That's immediately where I'm going. He hits level 3 as well. He gets another Glove of Haste to my Ring of Protection, so he has the edge there. But I didn't like this fight. This looked like maybe I can try and surround a fiend or get a couple summon kills, but I would lose a couple ghouls in the process, and I didn't want to sacrifice that. Instead, I just decided I'm going to beeline right past him. I'll let him chase me. I just want to scout out his expansion. I want to see his main. I want to be able to assess my situation. Again, I'll have more information than he does. So let's check. He has his gold mine running basically there. He has 12,250 gold. I have the exact same amount of gold. My towers aren't up yet, but the action is in his base or on his side of the map, so I don't have to worry about the towers just yet. So our expansion timings are essentially identical right now, along with our heroes. Just our hero choices, or our hero skill choices are different. I lose a ghoul, but it's to the tower, so that's okay. And we saw that he's going Crypt Fiends, whereas I'm still sticking with ghouls right now. So I come in, I see his tech timing. Well, I don't see his timing, but I see his tech, and look at this. We're at exact same tech as well. We're right on par with each other. So this is already an interesting situation, right? You don't play this every day, and we're playing a very similar strategy with similar builds. He does have a Spirit Tower up, which I don't think he really needed. I think that's maybe a couple wasted resources. But I guess as an undead who's fast expanding, it's better to just ensure you're safe than to lose that expansion stupidly, or just take damage in the main when you don't need to. So this, I still haven't built my 5th Acolyte, and I'm going to forget that for a good portion of the game. We'll keep an eye on it and see how much gold I end up losing out on, but that's a mistake on my part, and it definitely comes back to, I definitely lose out on a lot of resource advantage that I could be equal or on par with him on otherwise. It's early. So I'm just hitting tier 2 now. I'm setting up for 80 of 80 food. I'm sure I've started my... Yeah, those are going up. I have a slaughterhouse and now 3 crypts. So I've decided that I am going for a gargoyle build. You'll see I've also started my tech to tier 3, and I'm getting a Dreadlord to carry on with my area of effect. So I wanted to go Impale Carrion Swarm and Gargoyles with it, because I was thinking... I'm seeing Crypt Fiends. Crypt Fiends counter Gargoyles in small numbers. In mass numbers, there's not enough Crypt Fiends to web all the Gargoyles, so it kind of turns into this big mess of a battle where it can go both ways, I think. And I was thinking Impale and Carrion Swarm do great against Crypt Fiends, right? So I'll have that advantage. If he tries to go for something like Destroyers, then... because Destroyers are immune to magic, of course. Gargoyles hard counter them. If he tries to go, necromancers or banshees or ghouls or some kind of abomination, a combination of those things. Carrion Swarm, Impale are going to be really strong against that. If he goes Frost Worms, then Gargoyles are just going to run through them. So I was thinking there might be something to this, right? So that's what I'm doing. I'm going for Gargoyles. I now have my Dreadlord out. The statues, the Slaughterhouse is basically solely for statues. I just want to have that mana and health regeneration. And this creep is a little eccentric. I don't know if I really should go for this, but I'm going to go for it. I'll start the creep. And I think at this point in the game I can speed it up a little bit. I'm going to quickly go back here. I have lots of Gargoyles coming out now. I have 1/1 upgrades. I'm researching to attack. I'm creeping this, and I'm just playing safe. And I'm assuming at this point he's doing the same thing, right? When an Undead fast expands, there's a huge point of the game where they're very weak, right? This is still there. I have the gold income now, but I'm spending it on tech structures and researches or upgrades. You know what I'm trying to say. Again, it's early. I'm sorry. So I don't have an army, and I know he doesn't have an army. He's not pumping out a bunch of necromancers at tier 2 at this point. He's going for tier 3 if he's going necromancers or something like that, right? So we both have time to creep, and I lost a couple ghouls creeping that. That was unnecessary, but I just wanted to get as much experience as I can, and gold is not an issue for me right now because of that Undead fast expansion. So here I initiate. I'm not trying to creep this. I just wanted to buy a Zeppelin and a Shredder. And although I'm going to take some damage and lose another ghoul, I do get out of there, which is alright. And my plan is to creep the red camp here. So I'm not quite ready. I'm taking some damage. I'm not playing a great game. As you can see, I've just now filled up my gold mines. Let's check. I'm now, let's call it 10,000 to his 9,500. So he's got a 500 gold advantage on me up to this point, even though our expansions went up at the exact same time. But that's okay. I picked up a Lich, continuing with the area of effect concept, so I wanted to pick up a Orb of Corruption, which I haven't done yet. I should have, but I haven't. My Shredder is going to work on wood, and I wanted to continue through with Frost Nova, which I think would be great against everything I just discussed with the area of effect theme in this game, I guess. So I wait around a little bit. I'm probably a little too patient. I think I could have gone in earlier. But I wanted a couple more Gargoyles to show up to help me with the level 9 Granite Golem, I guess. Either way, I'm going for it. I did ferry over another Acolyte as well. So I'm going to be expanding up here. I'll slow this down for here. I'm going to be expanding to this base, which is maybe unnecessary. You know, Undeads are known for going one base all game and never expanding. I've already expanded once, and now I'm taking a second base. It's not typical play. But it's kind of a insurance policy for me right now, because we've reached a point where we're in the mid game. There's probably going to be a fight soon, but really I bet this game's going to go into the late game, right? Unless something drastic happens, this is a late game that's happening. And by having that sneaky third expansion up here, it could really, really pay dividends in the long run, because he won't scout this out, right? This is a tough one for him to scout out. And if I'm going mass Gargoyles, even if he does scout it out, it's not easy for him to take it. I'll be able to intercept any air units. Anyway, so he's attacking me here. I see he's got healing wards, which are problematic for an area of effect themed army, because I need to, you know, not have every unit being healed equally. So I teleport in. I'm going to focus those down quickly, but an immediate Impale Carrion Swarm goes down. It's only level 1 Carrion Swarm right now, so it's not dealing that much damage. But still, I have a lot of Gargoyles. You know what? I'm going to pause it. I should have paused it before. I'm at 66 of 70 food, level 4, 2, 1, to his 57 of 100 food. I think I've killed a statue. He started a little higher, and his level 4, 2. So we're very similar, right? Also in upgrades, he has 2, 1 to my 2, 1. So we do have actually very similar army sizes. Going into the fight, I was slightly ahead, but not as far ahead as we are now. So this was kind of an exciting fight for me. I focused down the healing wards finally, and things are starting to look pretty good. things are starting to look pretty good. I've got a lot of webbed gargoyles, but they're still attacking, and there's still a lot of flying gargoyles. And the damage is starting to add up on the Crypt Fiends. They're all weak. A death coil on one is not going to save the other three. So he's trying to focus down this gargoyle, but I get another big impale off. There goes one Crypt Fiend. He heals this one, but these two are still weak and vulnerable. And this fight is really going well for me all of a sudden, right? This is a really positive fight. His beetles are doing something, but not nearly as much as Carrion Swarm and Impaled. Death Coil was not that effective this fight. He might have saved a Fiend, but he still lost them all. And then a Frostworm comes in, so I immediately focus fire it, and he teleports out. But that's a good sign as well. I'm not worried about Frostworms when I'm going gargoyles, right? So this fight, I felt really comfortable, and now that this base was up and would be running very shortly, I think I'm in a pretty comfortable position right now. I picked up a Scroll of Resurrection from this camp up there, which is a terrible item when you're going solely air units, because air units don't leave bodies to be resurrected. So I'm going to sell that for a Scroll of Teleportation or something like that. And I'm going to try and stock up now on, well, I'll cap at 80 of 80 food when I get the chance, and I'm going to try and stock up on items. So even though I have 3 bases running, it's still important. Don't go over 80 food. Just don't do it. Just sit on 80 food with 3 bases. That's okay. And then I'm going to spend all my gold on healing scrolls and protection scrolls and invulnerability potions and mana potions and upgrades, so so that I can just keep that income coming and spend it on things other than units, right? So now I've done exactly what I was just saying. I've got a healing scroll on my Crypt Lord now. I have an Orb of Corruption on my Lich. I'm going to come down here and buy some healing scrolls. Another thing I should have mentioned, he could go Mass Gargoyles. He could combat me with Mass Gargoyles. But Area of Effect is so much better than his Crypt Lord's Beetles are going to be. Now that I have Carrion Swarm and Frost Nova, along with Vampiric Aura, which Gargoyles have melee attack in air-to-air combat, so Vampiric Aura helps Gargoyles. I'm pretty comfortable in a Gargoyle versus Gargoyle battle now as well, right? So, nice Tome of Experience. Every one of my heroes now has a Scroll of Healing, and my Crypt Lord also has a Scroll of Protection. I'm going to creep this. I'm going to speed it up a little bit again, because there's a lot of creeping at this phase in the game, and we don't need to see the creeping, but again, this is still, you know, we're both relatively high ranked on Azeroth. He's 39th. Like that's a respectable number. So just because we're giving each other time for creeping doesn't mean, you know, this is still a typical game. Like, this happens all the time. So easily creep that out. Sorry, I left my Crypt Lord out here because I didn't want him absorbing any of the experience because he was already at level 5. And by doing that, I ran into the enemy army, which is now resulting in a lot of damage, and I'm forced to teleport out. So this is unfortunate, because this is a fight I definitely would have liked to engage. That looked very favorable to me, but I did not want to do it without my Crypt Lord. I want my hero there for sure. I'm really comfortable. I have so much gold that I can afford the teleport, or at least I have so much income that I can afford another teleport. And I don't want to risk taking a big fight without my main hero and letting my leads start to slip away. So I know at this point the entire middle of the map has been crept. When I've been doing this stuff and down here, he had to creep the middle. It just makes sense, right? And look, I'm expanding down here, and this is, I think, a really sneaky play by me, because I don't care. I don't need this expansion. I'm putting it up early so that when this one drains, I can send them all down. But really, I'm also hoping, because right now I'm scouting out for his 3rd expansion, right? I'm sending this gargoyle here, here, here. I know he hasn't expanded at these 2 yet, and then this is the last base I have to check. He's also going to be scouting for my 3rd base. It's that stage in the game, right? He's not going to think that I expanded immediately way up here. He's going to be thinking he's probably looking to do a 3rd expansion. So he's going to come down here, hopefully if he scouts it and cancels it, he's going to think, I'm ahead now because I've canceled his 3rd, and I'll have a huge edge because I'll still have this 3rd mine running. That's my thought process anyway with that kind of expansion. Maybe it'll come into play later in the game. We'll take a look. So I come here, I see the merchant has been crapped. I turn my army back, which is probably ill-advised. I don't know why I did that. This gargoyle was going to scout instead, so he goes, and we are going to see there's his third expansion. So just like I'm expanding down here and saying, look, it's a third expansion. He's expanding up here, but this looks to me like his legitimate third expansion that he's counting on. If this falls, this is a lot of resources wasted, right? So I immediately turn and I'm going in. I have 3-2 upgrades now, and with this many gargoyles, even though they don't do a lot of ground damage, I'm still going to be able to focus fire towers down really quickly. But first I decided to go for the acolytes because I wanted to prevent him from unsummoning any buildings in the event that I am able to destroy everything here. I take out the relic, and my heroes are heroes, so I have 5-3-3, really good items, healing scrolls and a scroll of protection. And he teleports in, so I use my scroll of protection preemptively. I'll just use it now. I have a lot of armor in my 3-3 units. And he comes in. He's got a couple units there. There's a couple frostworms. Let's see. Either way. So he also has 3-3 upgrades. We're even there. I'm at 79 of 100 food. He is at 73, so I'm slightly ahead in food. And he has levels 5-3-2 to my 5-3-3. So I'm slightly ahead in heroes, I'm slightly ahead in army, but still, he's gone the Fiend Frostworm strategy, which you typically see. And I've got my area of effect mass frostworms, mass gargoyles. And like, already, look at that impale coil. I'm using my gargoyles to focus frostworms, and they go down so quickly. I have a bunch of webbed gargoyles, but he can't stop them. And look at that impale again. Everything is still stunned. There's a carrion swarm. Now there's going to be a frost nova. Bam. And I'm not focusing heroes, I'm not focusing units, I'm just spamming. I'm not good enough to do it like intense micro in this kind of fight. I'm literally going Crypt Lord, Impale, then I click Dreadlord, Carrion Swarm, and then I click Lich, Nova, and then I click one of the heroes, Healing Scroll, and then I go back to the first hero. And I was just doing that cycle. That's all I needed to do. And look at this. I have 79 of 100 building one gargoyle. So I lost one gargoyle in that fight. I have levels 5-4-4, and he lost everything. He's at 28 of 100 and 5-4. So that was a massive fight for me, and I think, I was ahead going in. I had more healing scrolls. I was probably more prepared than he was going into that fight. And that was still a ridiculously one-sided fight, right? I walked all over him there. So now I'm still in his vision. Let's go back to my vision. So now, this is up. I am sending my 4 guys, because the mains are now drained, down here. And I'm sending a 5th one, and I'm going to build a gold mine and necropolis right here. For the exact same reason that I just was saying with this one. I just want, I don't need this expansion. But now it's putting pressure on him. He's going to have to come down here to take this out. I'm going to set it up here as well. And yeah, he uproots his beetle, or unburrows his beetle, and starts dealing some damage, and I'm going to have to deal with that. But it's also a means for scouting for me, right? It means he can't expand here. It means he's not here. It allows me to teleport here anytime I want, so I can move to a lot of different points on the map very quickly now that I have so many necropolises up. My gold is just out of control, so I'm not worried about spending it. And still, I'm at 79 food. I'm not going over to 100 food. So I'm going to speed it up a bit more. I send one gargoyle down to kill these things. Over here, I used reveal and saw that there was still no expansions here and nothing here, so I came to creep it. And in doing that, I'm going to pick up a relic. It's called something. What's it called? Demonic figurine, which is awesome. I now have the Pit Lord's ultimate in my army. So my gargoyle's over here, picking off another beetle, getting the kill, no problem. I'm keeping the speed up a bit again, because I think it's pretty clear I'm very ahead at this point, right? You guys don't need to see this patient game that I'm playing that I always play. I refuse to lose a game prematurely. Or lose a game because I attack prematurely. So I'm just setting up, repairing, building one Zig so that I can upgrade it to dissuade that beetle harass. And I'm just going to choke him out at this point. Whenever I do engage him, there's not much he's going to be able to do. I'm stocked up on heal scrolls again. I have my demonic figurine. My Lich is level 4. This is a very powerful army for me. So I'm going to go engage. But, like, this is an undead. He could still have an army. He could still have bounced back, so I have to be a little careful. I initiate with my summon and get some Rain of Fire action, because I'd be a fool not to. I should do some Carrion Swarm action. I don't think I'm going to do that, though. I just Focus Fire the Spirit Tower down. And it goes down fast with this many gargoyles with the attack upgrade. And this is our last big engagement. So I'm at 80 of 80 again. 3 of 3 food. There are 3 upgrades with 5-4-4. But let's look at him. He's at 78 again. He's at 3 upgrades with 4-2-5. So again, I have better items and better heroes. I'm still ahead. But look what he's got now. He's gone solely gargoyles. So he's got a matching army with 1 Frostworm and nothing but gargoyles against my mass gargoyle army. So this is another fight that, you know, it could go both, or you would think it would be a little closer, but I have my area of effect spells, at least in Frost Nova and Carrion Swarm. He has Frost Nova. And I have Vampiric Aura now. So I think this is going to go well for me again, but we should really... We know it's going to go well for me, but let's see how well it goes. There's a Heal Scroll, there's a Carrion Swarm, there's a Frost Nova. No Focus Fire from me. Just letting everything do its thing. Spamming my spells on any target I can. And he's getting some kills. His gargoyles are doing better than his previous army did. But it's still not enough. It's not even close to enough. I tore right through him. And now I get to use my ultimate with the Crypt Lord, which you do not see every day at all. And he teleports out. So that was really satisfying. That was another easy fight for me. So, like, I knew I was going to win that fight going into it. There wasn't a whole lot of... my heroes were too strong for him. It's gotten to a point. Look at my guy just had vision across the entire map, or at least the perimeter. But it still seemed really powerful, right? So I think this is something I'm going to be experimenting with in the future. I want to try some more Undead area of effect strategies. I know against other races, I might have to do different things. Gargoyles are definitely not going to be the answer all the time. I know I had the Crypt Lord first this game and was given a lot of time to creep him up and wasn't given a hard time for going Crypt Lord first with Impale, so I was able to capitalize on that. But, you know, who's to say that going Undead area of effect means I have to go Crypt Lord first, right? I can try something different, I can tweak it. But I felt really good about this strategy, and it was a lot of fun, and the fights felt very one-sided, so it's definitely something I'm going to be trying more of, and hopefully something that will be working out for me. We'll see. So I don't know why he's still here. I came to do one more reveal around. I see he still hasn't expanded anywhere, so I'm just going to go kill him. And here he is with one last-ditch effort. He decides he's going to kill my heroes, so he goes straight for the Dreadlord. But Impale, Frost Nova, Carrion Swarm, it's just too much for him. He just can't deal with it. I'm not even focused for it. Oh, maybe I am. Yeah, let's kill the Death Knight. Big Carrion Swarm. Get some Frost Armor on my Dreadlord, and that's going to seal the deal. So that was a good game. I really enjoyed playing it. I thought it was an interesting one to watch, or maybe something I can learn from and try in the future. Battle of Troy is a great player. He is better than me, but that one went my favor. So thank you for watching. Questions, comments, criticisms are welcome. Like or subscribe if you could. That'd be great. I'd appreciate it. But either way, have a great rest of your day.